There are some things you've learned in business that I've taught you in business that you have to bring to marriage. Because marriage is my business.
Because marriage is my business. Please permit me to just emphasize that. Because, one of the reasons why we're doing this is, if we look at the trajectory of how the life of a young person goes, people have become disillusioned about marriage. The concept of family, is almost like
the purpose also.
Yeah. So, I don't want to slow down. I want to advance in my career. I don't want anybody to tie me down. That thing is not from God. And it's important that people do not build a culture based on what seems to be trendy, a trend that will fall in very soon in any case. And so marriage is actually God's business. God is big on family. And even before the Bible shows us the revelation of the church, we have a revelation of family first. That is very, very huge. Something that, also really stood out to me out of what, we're talking about is the fact that in making a marriage partner choice, there is the perception part, you seeking God's face, you praying. But my point is, beyond that aspect, there is also the science. There's the science, and so the questions you ask, exactly, and so they both must align, because
it's in heaven,
so it should be on it. So, and I think that's the area where people get into trouble sometimes. They feel like they've heard God, and sometimes people miss God. They think they've heard God and they've missed Him. They hear themselves. That's the honest truth. But God will not deny Himself. God is the creator of principles, including science. And so you will find that your role as a person, this is very important, your role as a person, when you have received direction from God, your role is to prove it. You prove it by going into that relationship, and then that's what dating is about. You begin to gather information,